The government of the Republic of Zambia has reaffirmed its position to have the remains of former and late 60th Republican President Mr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu, who died in South Africa on the 5th of June, laid in his home country. This came to light after the President of the Republic of Zambia received a courtesy call from the Minister of International Relations and Corporations of South Africa, Mr. Ronald Ozi Lamola. The Lungu family had announced that they decided to have the remains of the former late Republican President of Zambia buried in Johannesburg, South Africa, after failing to reach an agreement on certain conditions with the government of the Republic of Zambia. However, the Minister of International Relations and Corporations of South Africa informed President Hakainde Hichilema that it was the wish of the President of South Africa to have the remains of President Edgar Chagwa Lungu buried in his home country.
We continue to send back the message to the President of South Africa in an endeavor to find an amicable solution on this matter. It remains our considered view that former President Lungu should be laid to rest in his own country of birth. But as we have engaged, we did raise that there is an impasse and there are issues that still needs to be addressed. And we're hopeful, we remain hopeful that maybe an amicable solution will be found in the matter. Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
And President Hakainde Hichilema reaffirmed the government's position to have the remains of former late Republican President Edgar Chagwa Lungu buried in Zambia.
Lamora from South Africa, in charge of international relations. We're very delighted that President Ramaphosa has sent the minister and his delegation to allow us to have a conversation, a decent one for that matter, in resolving the challenge that we're faced with. The country is aware of the challenge. We don't have to reiterate that. Our wish has been very clear that we would like the mortal remains of President Lungu, our sixth president, to be buried in his home country, Zambia, and not in any other country.
Meanwhile, at a press briefing held on Saturday, 21st of June 2025 in Lusaka, the Tonse Alliance, a political alliance that President Edgar Chagwa Lungu led as chairperson until his death, announced that his remains would only be repatriated to Zambia when government changes in 2026.
I want to state that even if we are going to bury our late former Republican president in South Africa, we are going to repatriate his body back to Zambia on Friday, 28th of August 2026, immediately after swearing in a new president.
Now, earlier this morning, pictures of different political leaders from the Patriotic Front and the Tonse Alliance flooded various social media platforms as they were seen arriving in South Africa for the burial of late Republican President Edgar Chagwa Lungu. As things stand, the question that begs an answer is, will former late 60th Republican President of Zambia be laid to rest in a foreign land, or will his remains be repatriated to a country where he was born and served as Republican president for 7 years? Will we let politics take center stage and let a man that served a country for 7 years be laid in a foreign land? Let's put politics aside, Bane. Let's put our emotions aside. Let's put the money aside. Let's imagine former late Republican President Edgar Chagwa Lungu was here today, being asked a question, sir, when you die, where would you love to be buried? Even when we feel maybe his relationship with the current president was sour, maybe not sour, it was chilly. Even when we think their relationship was not good, are you telling me President Edgar Chagwa Lungu would have chosen today to be buried in South Africa? Let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen. We respect the decisions of the family. But what could be the biggest reason that we want the former Republican president to be laid in South Africa? What could be the biggest reason? And even for those politicians that are supporting that, yes, let him be buried there, then in 2026, when we change government, is this really about the church? Ladies and gentlemen, is this all about Hakainde Hichilema? Or there's something else? Maybe there's something else that we just don't know. It is just President Hakainde Hichilema. Honestly. Maybe beyond Hakainde Hichilema, there is something else that we don't know, that we want former Republican president to be buried in South Africa. And if we're to follow what the Tonse Alliance said, that, oh, he'll be returned in 2026 when the government changes. Ladies and gentlemen, in 2021, the Patriotic Front had maintained that they were going to return the presidency and they will return to government. But that did not happen. What happens if in 2026, Hakainde Hichilema and the UPND still return to power? You will wait for Edgar Lungu's remains to be repatriated until government changes. What is it that the HH and his government have done? Maybe you should bring this to light, because Edgar Lungu did not just save the Patriotic Front, he saved the country. There are people today that are in Shangombo, there are people that are in Petauke, there are people that are in Copper Belt, people that are in Chirubi Island that he saved. Who would love to just get on a bus and come and attend his burial here? Are we going to make it hard for those people just because of HH and the UPND? Unless there is something else.